semua. Hello, my friend. Hi. I'm your friend. Right? Aduh. Kena charge bateri tu. Hello, my friend. Kat mana tu? Airel dekat rumah. Korang semua kat mana, guys? And korang semua, what are you doing, guys? Saya dah makan lah, guys. Kecil apa? Nasi lemak lah.
Siapa yang makan kan?
Tak tahu. Boleh tu. Tawing. Boleh tawing.
Dia buat teratur je makanan ni.
Tak tahu lah. Tawing.
Kau ni malam kan?
Tawing lah.
What if the very virtue you've been praised for is the one quietly dismantling your power? They told you to stay humble, to speak less of your victories, to walk with your eyes lowered, even when you've conquered more than the men beside you. They told you humility makes you noble, that modesty is strength, that downplaying your greatness is the mark of a true leader. They lied. because humility in the eyes of the powerful is not a virtue. It is camouflage for the weak. Showing off is not strength, but erasing yourself entirely. That's suicide. A man who refuses to own his presence becomes invisible to those who trade in perception, respect, and fear. Niccolò Machiavelli wrote, "It is much safer to be feared than loved when one must choose. But the humble man is neither feared nor loved."
Siapa tu Airel? Oh, tu kau Airel.
Begin where history does not forgive softness.
Airel mana?
Jezebel, ruthless, brilliant, destined for domination, did not master his
Dia
own. He orchestrated them with precision.
tak tahu
Let
kat
the
luar.
world tremble at their echo. He did not credit fate or luck or divine will. He stood at the center of the storm and molded strategy. Contrast him with the countless men who achieved quietly and were buried just as quietly. Humility may win applause from the masses, but the masses do not write legacy. The masses do not crown kings. In today's world, humility is marketed as maturity. You succeed, and the first instinct you're taught is to apologize for it, to shrink it, to balance the scales by pretending it wasn't that hard, or that you got lucky, or that others helped more than they did. This is not virtue. This is a muzzle. You muzzle your power. You chain it in politeness. You water it down so others won't feel small. And slowly, without realizing, you turn your edge into a curve, a blade into a spoon. The modern trap is this: applause for self-erasure, likes for fake modesty, the humble caption, the quiet win, the refusal to name your price. And while you bend yourself into invisibility, another man, louder, colder, unafraid to be seen, steps into the space you surrendered. Understand this. Humility is not silence. Silence is strategy. Humility is self-deletion. The man who speaks little but radiates presence is dangerous. The man who belittles himself to appear relatable is disposable. There is a tension here, because we've confused arrogance with assertion. We've labeled confidence as ego, and we've taught our most capable men that to be respected, they must appear uncertain. This is not wisdom. This is control. The truth is, most people are uncomfortable around certainty, around unapologetic excellence, around a man who does not flinch when he speaks of his own dominance. But comfort is not the goal. Respect is. Power is not given to those who wait politely. It is taken by those who walk into a room and declare, "I deserve to be here." There's a reason the wolf does not ask the sheep for permission. Let me give you a picture. A battlefield. Two generals. One stands tall, eyes like daggers, voice firm, plan calculated. He tells his men what they will do, and how, and why they will win. He does not smile. He does not thank fate. He does not hedge. The other general is kind, measured. He speaks of teamwork, of chance, of humility in victory. His men respect him, but they do not fear disobedience. When the battle begins, one army moves like a machine, the other waits for consensus. Now ask yourself, which general survives? You do not command men or respect by lowering your crown. At the midpoint of every empire, there is a moment where its leader must choose. Do I soften myself to comfort others, or do I sharpen myself to protect what I've built? The humble man gives ground. The dominant man gives warning. Let us take it deeper. Humility teaches you to underestimate yourself. So others won't feel insecure. But Machiavelli
Cakap-cakap hai semua dekat dia orang.
by the hand. In other
Dia orang
words,
panggil kau cari
perception
ni.
is reality.
Asal dia cari aku?
If you act beneath
Tu,
your
baca
power,
komen.
they will believe you are. Worse, they will treat you as such. And once
Hi
they
guys.
do, regaining position requires
Apa ni?
not just
Hello my
assertion,
friend.
but
Kat mana itu?
retribution.
Say hi.
This is why
Airel
kings
dah
did
makan.
not kneel
Siapa itu
unless they
Airel?
intended to
Arin
execute.
mana Airel?
When you bow
Airel
to
lah
them,
bro.
they forget you were ever standing. You were not
Tu
born
Airel,
to
mana
apologize
Airel?
for your talent
Ah ni
or
Airel.
downplay your
Airel dah
influence
bawa dia,
or share the throne with
daripada
men you did not
Colombia.
bleed for.
Yo, what's up
And yet,
guys?
many of you do. You
Tadi
will,
aku macam
then
nampak 30
immediately
lebih.
explain why you didn't really deserve it. You
Biasa
speak,
lah.
then backpedal
Kadang-kadang
to make others
berapa 8
comfortable.
minit.
You leave,
Kau bayangkan lah.
then
Kau
hesitate
bayang.
to call it
Berapa
leadership.
minit?
Each time,
Ni
you chip away at your own
channel aku
authority.
baru 9
Humility is
minit.
not
Kalau
hard.
orang lain
It
punya
is
channel baru
corrosive.
seorang.
It teaches the
Oh, yeah.
lion to act
Tak ada
like a
like
lamb. And soon,
Faham tak?
even the
Faham.
lamb forgets the lion ever
Ni kau
had
tengok
teeth.
apa ni?
So ask yourself,
Biasa.
who taught
Eh,
you that being small
tak
is
too
safe?
much like
Who
ke
benefits
hobo,
from you
Maggie
hiding
cup.
your light, your mind, your
Kak, apa
thoughts?
kau borak,
It was
eh?
never for your growth. It was for their comfort. And you, king,
Look,
you do not
you
exist
must
to be
read bro.
comfortable.
You do not
exist to
exist to be
conquer.
comfortable.
They will tell you.
You will
stay
tell you
grounded.
stay ground.
But what they mean is,
It's
don't
so
rise
high.
so high that I have to look up to speak to you. This is the quiet treason of humility. It masquerades as moral advice, but it's a leash offered by those who fear what you become without it. You must understand the psychology of power. Man is not drawn to weakness. He is drawn to what he cannot fully understand, cannot predict, cannot control. And humility, true, self-erasing humility, strips you of mystery. It makes you digestible, predictable, safe, but nothing feared is ever safe. The lion is not admired for his gentleness. The general is not followed for his self-doubt. The ruler is not remembered because he knew when to step back. No, they are remembered because they stepped forward when others trembled, because they stood tall, spoke clearly, and made no excuses for the weight of their crown. You don't need to shout to dominate a room, but you do need to take up space in it. And humility, the modern performative kind,
Guys,
trains you to
korang
shrink,
relax je
to
dalam live
downplay
stream
your
ni.
intelligence,
Airel
to
nak
too arrogant, to nod when you should correct, to
check
smile
barang
when you
Airel
should
kejap.
command. It teaches you to become forgettable and then asks you to be proud of being overlooked. But power is not won through absence. It is won through undeniable presence. Machiavelli warned us, a prince is also esteemed when he is a true friend and a true enemy. That is, when he is fully known for what he stands for and what he opposes. Humility clouds that signal. It confuses your allies and emboldens your enemies. Because the humble man is easy to test, easy to probe, easy to ignore. He speaks, and the room continues. He enters, and nothing stops. He acts, and it is forgotten. Contrast that with the man who moves like thunder just before the strike, silent, but loaded with force. He does not need to be loud. He needs to be undeniable. This is the essence of real dominance, not loudness, but certainty. Not arrogance, but presence. Not apology, but unapologetic self-possession. You do not owe the world an apology for being sharper, faster, hungrier. You owe it a warning. I am not here to entertain your comfort. Here's the deeper danger. Once humility is baked into your identity, it becomes a form of self-sabotage. You start to doubt your instincts. You give away credit that belongs to you. You begin to fear recognition as if it's a sin. And worst of all,
Oi,
you train the
apa
people around you to
oh,
believe you are
space.
replaceable.
Okay. Apa tadi korang cakap? Assalamualaikum. Hai Airel, selamat petang. Selamat petang korang. Macam mana korang lepak mana je petang ni? What you doing right? Where you go? Where you go? You know.
Because the man who erases himself invites erasure. I want you to imagine something, a high-stakes negotiation, a table of executives. Everyone is speaking, pitching, pivoting, and one man, sharp suit, composed silence, sits back, he listens, he waits, he does not interrupt. But when he speaks, the table shifts. He does not waste words. He does not humble himself. He states terms, draws lines, names his worth, and then watches who flinches. This man is not arrogant. He is unshakable. And his presence, not his humility, is what seals the deal. You are not in this world to soften your brilliance so that others can feel bright. You are not here to tuck in your ambition so others don't call it ego. You are not here to be humble. You are here to become undeniable. So many men walk through life with a fire they've been taught to hide, and they wonder why no one respects them. But respect begins with refusal.
We have moments where we sell thousands of products in just under 2 minutes.
With Shopify, we don't have to question whether it will work or not. Everything that we were looking for, Shopify has delivered, and then
Refusal to be muted. Refusal to shrink. Refusal. What if everything you've been told about humility, equality, and fairness was designed to keep you weak? They told you to think like the crowd, and then mocked you for never rising above it. They taught you to be kind to all, and now you wonder why no one respects you. They told you that kings are born, not made, but they never told you that kings are forged in silence, sharpened by betrayal, and crowned by ruthlessness. Let me be clear. The difference between a king and a peasant is not blood, it is how he thinks. A peasant waits, a king watches, a peasant hopes, a king calculates, a peasant pleads for approval, a king acts as if he needs none, because he doesn't. You've been trained to think with submission, programmed to seek consensus, conditioned to announce your dreams in the marketplace, only to be laughed at by those too small to imagine them. And still you return, still you hope, still you bow. This is not kindness, this is mental poverty. Do not mistake fear for virtue. Do not mistake obedience for wisdom. Do not mistake your shackles for moral high ground. In my time, I saw men walk into palaces with a bow and walk out with a knife in their back. I saw flatterers rise and fall faster. I saw kings destroyed not by enemies, but by misplaced trust. The court is not a place for the honest. The world is not ruled by goodness. The world is ruled by strategy, and most are too afraid to admit it. If you want to think like a king, you must understand this one truth. Power is perception, and peasants think literally. They see what is and assume it is all there is. A king sees what can be bent, what can be hidden, what can be moved behind curtains while the audience stares at the stage.
The Art of War is a guide written by Sun Tzu, a master strategist and philosopher who walked the path of wisdom during China's warring states period. His teachings arose not merely from the need to triumph in battle, but from an
What if the most clever men in the room are the ones you never notice? What if the game of power was never about force, but concealment? What if the secret to power is not to conquer more, but to offend less? We imagine the powerful as tyrants, feared, bold, unapologetic. But true dominance does not announce itself with thunder. It settles like fog. It enters rooms without stirring the air. It makes its presence felt without needing applause, noise, or blood. The greatest rulers in history did not stay in power by crushing enemies. They stayed in power by not creating them in the first place. Let me ask you something. When was the last
Yo,
time
what's up,
someone
bro?
lost power because they were too violent? Rare. But how many kings fell because they humiliated the wrong man once? In your quest to rise, you will be tempted to win loud, to speak hard, to
Hater
let the world
kisser.
know your name.
Why?
But the man who rises that way becomes a target. The man who moves subtly, who understands the deep law of resentment, becomes untouchable. Men forget the death of their father sooner than the loss of their patrimony, Machiavelli wrote. Do you know what that means? It means people do not care about honor. They care about their pride, their money, their image. And if you take those from them, they will remember forever. Power does not rot from the outside. It is poisoned from within, through envy, silent vengeance, and the slow erosion of goodwill. Let us go back. Florence, Renaissance Italy. The courts were filled with smiles, gifts, and daggers under the table. It was never about how much land you held. It was about how many enemies you didn't make on the way to getting it, and how well you could hide the ones you had to. Now look at today, in your office, in your network, on social media. You think you're being bold, transparent, authentic, but you're bleeding power with every overstep, every unnecessary insult, every moment you choose dominance over diplomacy. What you think is strength is often the start of your undoing. Here's the first truth.
Cakap dia RM500 pun kerja.
Tu lah cakap. Tak, dia pun cakap.
Orang dah balas. Ada dah balas.
Tahu. Dia tunjuk cair.
Betul?
Lepas tu dia kata it's not fair sebab dia cari kat Am. Lepas tu kan dia punya team, I percaya team Am boleh grow and dia punya team punya capacity masuk tu lot tu dia of from apa skill tu lemah. Lepas tu betul lah apa dia cakap sebenarnya. Am baca ayat dia betul lah. Bila tengok balik Am dah cakap masa bagi 100 lebih Am cakap apa kat Airel. Masa re-management mana yang 1 sen 2 sen dulu grow tak sabar. Ham pergi hantar. Itu salah Ham kena Airel bukan salah dia. Ham pergi hantar kat bucu-bucu. Lepas tu sampai 20 pik Ham cut. Bukan sebab 30 pik. Ham bagi reason bodoh. Airel baca 30 pik. Lepas tu market tak salahkan market pula. Padahal yang hantar. Kalau dia pergi cakap kat orang lain Airel kena teruk dia. Serius cakap.
Sekejap. Ini ada ground. Dia tak tahu. Guys, betul tak guys?
Ya, tapi apa dia cari Airel ni produk. Macam mana nak grow team kalau produk ni gagal.
Seorang je dia je pun. Ramai lagi orang ada.
Ya, sebab tak cakap dia macam ni. Memang sebab tak cakap dia macam ni. Memang ramai. Apa pernah ada lostkan orang. Tapi lostkan orang bukan dengan full margin lepas tu letak kat hujung-hujung macam tu. Itu ketara sangat. Kalau masuk buy macam Hakim, masuk assassin, roti 200 pik assassin kat risk macam tu okey lah. Ini hantar kat hujung-hujung 30 pik tak sampai jam pun. Tu memang main gambling, tu bukan trading. Sebab tu lah kena.
Aduh.
100 USD bagi Airel tak banyak.
Akaun dia kecil, tak mampu. Kita nak buat akaun dia 20 USD.
Okay, sekarang ni pergi balas cakap macam ni okay, macam ni bro. Boleh tak you percaya kat I sekali lagi? Okay, you try deposit untuk recover. Try lah buat untuk dia.
They're
Tu cek
born
je
from
tu.
wounds to the ego.
Ni tak ada
A
solusi
rival
diam
who
macam
thinks
tu.
they
Kau
can
semua tak angkat dia
exploit
angkat
them.
memang dia
A
bunuh
rival
kan.
who's humiliated with a smirk.
Betul
Dia
tak?
banyak
A
solusi.
public
Orang yang
correction
lost 100
will
je
sharpen
ingat
the
semua
knife
risk
in
management.
silence,
Betul-betul
not
ikut
for
market
your
kena
crown,
kat Spark
for
News
your
ke apa.
perk.
Ini
The man who
betul-betul
insults
pemajin.
everyone to
5
look
sen,
strong
10 sen. Kalau
dies
tunjuk kat story kat
surrounded
orang
by
memang
cracks
kena
and
kecam.
assassins.
Confirm.
You must
Kalau
master this art.
Ellie
The
nampak
art of
1
not
sen, 1
making
sen. Ni
unnecessary
hang terus
enemies.
tekan tak 5
You
sen,
do not
10 sen,
need to
10
be
sen.
liked.
Gila
You
Rel.
do not need to be worshipped.
Oh,
But you must
gang.
not be resented.
Tengok balik
There
history
is a
tu.
difference.
10 sen.
The man
Kalau
who
macam
is
tu,
Gila.
feared
minta dia
can still be
50,
trusted.
minta dia
Tak,
100.
tak. Pergi check, pergi check.
Can
Cakap
still
dia.
be
Macam ni
respected.
bro. Okay, sorry.
But the
I tak
man who's
sempat
resented is
reply
already
semua.
burdened
Okay.
from the
Okay, my
inside
mistake
out.
sebab
Because
apa?
resentment has
I
no
bertanggungjawab
cure.
untuk
And
benda ni lah.
unlike fear,
Okay,
it
I
does
janji
not
nak grow
freeze
kan.
the
Tapi tak
hand.
apa.
It guides
You
you,
ada deposit lagi.
steady,
I try cover
patient,
balik. Cakap
until the
macam tu.
moment
Tengok
comes.
dia tulis.
So how do you hold your throne
Bingai.
without
Eh,
drawing the
jap,
blame of
tengah.
others?
Alah.
You disguise your
Lepas tu
Tengah
biar
live
agak
stream.
kalau Am balas terus cakap sini. Ni kau nak TikTok Airel lah.
While you hold the reins behind the
Itu
curtain,
kena.
you make others
Kau
feel
tak buat.
important, not because they are.
Dia tak boleh buat
Memang tak buat tapi serabut Rel. Serabut.
Is your best
Dia nak
weapon.
cari amat
Let
kali.
it breathe, and it becomes a leash.
Tak,
Trust it,
kalau
and it
history tu
becomes a
memang
bond.
mepek
You
Rel.
think the
Mepek
lion
gila. Okay.
announces every time
Pik.
it eats?
Kau
No,
invest kat aku
the
100
lion
USD.
lets the jungle speak for
Aku
him.
letak 10
There
sen,
was once
10 sen,
a
10 sen.
general who
Kau rasa
won
apa jadi?
every
Apa
campaign,
rasa?
but never claimed the
Kau pernah
glory.
trade? Kau rasa
His
logik
emperor
mana tu?
kept him close.
Yeah.
Why?
Mana logik
Because the
tu?
general
10
felt that
sen,
he
5
was
sen,
in it,
logik tak?
not his own.
Awak
And
dah
so
tak
he
2
rose
sen.
high
Gila.
against the loudmouth who begged for
Orang
mercy.
gila buat macam tu
Not
Rel.
how
Serius.
Mesin
he
berapa
felt,
lot
not
banyak.
flaunted.
Banyak pun
In
mati.
politics, this is
Bodoh
called
lah.
cause
Patut
of
tu kat ujung-ujung.
In
Ni,
business,
dekat
it's
ujung-ujung
called
bawah kan.
delegation.
Atas
In
ni,
life,
depan.
it's
Ni,
called
baik betul.
wisdom.
Lupa haji.
Learn when to step
Bodoh
back.
tak?
Learn when to be the architect.
Aduh. Lepas tu dia cakap salahkan market.
Monuments get built, then stared at,
Apa
then
ni nak jawab
destroyed
dia
by the
orang
next
tu?
regime.
Itu adalah
But the
salah.
architect, he draws the next empire.
Alasan yang
Never
dibeli
forget,
yang
the
kode
person
dia.
who thinks they owe you nothing is more dangerous than the person who actually does. So don't collect enemies like trophies. Don't win arguments that don't matter. Don't show everyone how smart you are. Let fools win small battles, so you can win the war without firing a shot. Here's a rule. If the victory feeds your ego, but not your empire, let it go. Your goal is not to win. Your goal is to stay. And staying in power is not about domination. It's about invisibility, smoothness, lack of friction, like oil through gears. You become essential without becoming the face. You become respected without becoming envied. You make no waves, but you move the entire tide. Ask yourself, how many people hate you, not because of what you did, but because of how you made them feel? That's where your danger lies. There is a principle more dangerous than revenge and more useful than fear. It is perception, not reality, not truth. Perception, because power, like gold, only has value when others believe in it. And belief can be guided without war, without blood, without force. You don't need to win every battle. You need them to believe you could. The man who never makes an enemy is not the man who apologizes. It is the man who never gives others a reason to choose war in the first place. And this, my friend, is not weakness. It is domination through direction. Like water finding the cracks. Like a king whose silence carries more weight than a general's shout. When Caesar crossed the Rubicon, he didn't threaten the Senate. He simply moved, boldly, quietly. The threat was not in his words.
In 1968, a group of innovative educators founded the International Baccalaureate, or IB for short, an educational non-profit organization based in Geneva, Switzerland. Its principles are based on the pedagogy of Marie-Thérèse Moret. She believed that all children should gain a global perspective on our world before they study at their own national history. Children should further always practice 2 languages to learn a second form of communication, and with it, a new mode of thinking inherent to the second language. Schools that meet the standards can partner with the IB organization. For a fee, they can be certified and then offer their students an international education that is valid all over the world. The goal? To provide kids with the intellectual, emotional, and social skills needed to live, learn, and academic. 1. How does the world? Classics. 2. The Middle Years program asks us to understand ourselves in a global context. we learn about our identity, culture, relationships, as well as globalization and sustainability. In addition, there are now also design, literature, and health.
Boost your trading potential with a 100% bonus. South Africa only.
Airel,
Hmm.
bila Airel nak buat video anjing tu? Dia bagi makan kucing kat show semua.
Tengok dulu isu kan.
Kena buat cepat Airel, dah cakap lah. Tapi hari ni nak kereta. Bangku apa, tak buat konten lagi. Belajar nak buat IB, konten tak buat lagi. Ayo budak ni. Ni, sama juga Mamat ni hari. Jangan senyum.
Dah buat lah.
Dia buat apa?
Video dengan Ki lah.
Tu je apa?
Hari ni
Kau apa buat?
semalam.
Hari ni tak ada kan? Tadi baru sebut hari ni.
Hari ni nak buat video dengan Syafiq. Bully Syafiq.
Tapi kena settle cepat. Korang kena buat pagi. Jangan kacau waktu shoot. Ni malam ada shoot lagi ni. Bangun.
Dia tak ada lagi.
Ya, tu malam yang kat orang eh.
Siapa? Mana kaki dia orang tau? Syafiq. Tak ada. Weh, my bro. Mana kau pergi?
Ya?
Apa nak pergi habis sekejap. Oh, ada sekali ke?
Saya mandi lah.
Aku dah mandi.
In this video, I will show you the biggest master IB Forex trading program with up to 8 levels in the network. I will show you how much you can. Can earn on this, how it works, and I will give you the best commissions in this video due our partnership. So let's get started here. The new broker on film, they're offering you a
Hey there, welcome to AliDrop, the ultimate AliExpress dropshipping app that's here.
In this video, I will show you the biggest account. So basically, this is passive income. If you refer other partners to this partnership IB program, you are earning from their income, and it's really passive. So you can refer them here, and you earn 50%, which is huge. But if your level 2 partner is doing the same, yeah, he refers new traders or partners, yeah, and they refer new, you will earn from the level 3 guys here 10%, which is also huge. So if the level is 3 downline, it makes 1 million in profit, you are earning 100k. just why you bring the level 2 and the level 2 did its job and it drank the level 3.
This is a candlestick, and if formed in a specific formation, it can tell you this. This is a candlestick, and if formed in a specific formation, it can tell you the story of what the market is planning to do. But what if I told you everything you know about candlestick patterns is a lie? Hammers, dojis, engulfing candles, all of it. None of this will work unless you pair it with this secret trick. You see, most retail traders treat candlestick patterns like cheat codes. They grab their little candlestick pattern mouse pads that they bought on Amazon and blindly look at trades with the same chart pattern. And while yes, candlestick patterns can be used for price, a lot of people use them completely wrong. They see a bullish engulfing candle and they think, great, what a great time to buy. Then the price tanks. But what if I told you there's a strategy you can execute in order to know when this is about to happen? Every candle you see is one of these three types of candles: indecision candles, control shift candles, and strength candles. Let's start with the most powerful one, the strength candle. These candles have large bodies and small wicks. This is the strength candle. It shows that buyers or sellers are in complete control at this time. But this candle can get even stronger. If a strength candle is printed with a large body and no upper wick for a bullish candle, this is an extremely strong candle, as it's showing that buyers had absolutely no resistance from sellers at this point. It's the exact opposite for bearish candles. If the candle has a large red body with no lower wick, that shows sellers had no resistance from buyers at this point. Now, these candles are pretty rare in the market, but if seen, it shows extreme buyer or seller control. But just like most things in life, size matters. For example, you can get this strength candle in different sizes. Here we have 4 examples, and all of these examples are strength candles with uninterrupted buying. But the largest strength candle is the strongest and the best indication that buyers are in control. Even though candle number 4 is still a strength candle, it's a lot weaker indication than candle number 1. Large strength candles show massive buying. Small strength candles show less aggressive buying. But what happens when that control suddenly shifts? That brings us to candle number 2. This candle shows who's losing the battle and who's about to take over. These are also called control shift or reversal candles. Candle wicks show rejected price action. So if you have a large upper wick, that shows buyers tried to move the price up but got rejected and sellers took over and brought the price down. These control shift candles have long wicks with small bodies. For this candle, the body of the candle is pretty irrelevant. It doesn't matter if the candle's green or red. What tells you the real story is the wick. So oftentimes these candles can show reversal points. With candles showing large lower wicks, we can expect price to move up. If we see candles showing large upper wicks, we can expect price to move down. Now, when no one's in charge, the candle looks very different. That brings us to candle number 3. This candle means no one's in control. An indecision candle looks like this. They have wicks on both sides with small bodies. They show equal effort from both buyers and sellers, but no real progress. Now, there's a lot of different ways this can look. It can look like this, or this. All of these are indecision candles. Main thing you have to remember is there's a small body with equal wicks on either side. People often call these dojis, but these candles usually appear before major breakouts or reversal because the market is trying to decide what it wants to do next, but hasn't completely decided on which way it wants to go yet. You should never trade purely based off these candles because this candle doesn't tell us who's in control. But when paired with this next candle, that completely changes everything. For example, if an indecision candle is printed, but then directly after a control shift candle is printed, this shows us that buyers have won in the indecision battle, and we can wait for price to do a pullback to this indecision candle and enter here. You can also use it as a clear reversal point. For example, price drops strong down to this area of demand, but right when it reaches it, some indecision candles showed up showing that price is hesitating. And if paired with a strength candle, it can show buyers are starting to step in. But all of this began with the indecision candle showing signs of slowing down the sellers. So let's put all we've learned to the test and do a real live chart exam. But before we get into that, let me show you something. I found a new broker, AAAFX.com, and this is no ordinary broker. They offer forex, stocks, and crypto. Yes, a 3-for-1. So no matter what silly little thing you trade, They have it. Best part is they have 0% commissions. Yes, you heard me right. 0% commissions for all of your trades. So unlike most brokers where you have to pay fees for every single trade you take, I mean, really sit down and think about it. If you're taking hundreds of trades, those fees can really add up to where you're paying hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. On here, it's absolutely free. Plus, they're available in 176 different countries and fully regulated. If you want to try them out, use the link in my description and you will get unlimited 0% commissions if you use my link.
You're welcome.
Now let's take all three candle types and drop them into a real trading exam. So here we have some price action forming. We started with a slight downtrend, but if you look closely, something very interesting is happening.
In this video, I will show you the biggest master IB forex.
In 19...
Others a reason to choose war in the first. In the shadowed courts of kings and the whispered prayers of dervishes, the same truth echoes across the centuries. Power without mercy crumbles, and wisdom without humility deceives. These stories are not just parables, they are mirrors held up to the throne, the battlefield, and the soul. I hope you will enjoy this story. Don't forget to subscribe my channel. I heard a Padshah giving orders to kill a prisoner. The helpless fellow began to insult the king on that occasion of despair with the tongue he had, and to use foul expressions according to the saying, who washes his hands of life, says whatever he has in his heart. When a man is in despair, his tongue becomes long, and he is like a vanquished cat assailing a dog in time of need. When flight is no more possible, the hand grasps the point of the sharp sword. When the king asked what he was saying, a good-natured vizier replied, "My lord," he says, "those who bridle their anger and forgive men. For Allah loveth the beneficent." The king, moved with pity, forbore taking his life. But another vizier, the antagonist of the former, said, "Men of our rank ought to speak nothing but the truth in the presence of Padshahs. This fellow has insulted the king and spoken unbecomingly." The king, being displeased with these words, said, "That lie was more acceptable to me than this truth thou hast uttered." Truth, perception, because power, like gold, only has value when others
Most people die as footnotes in their own bloodline. Born, lived, forgotten. No legacy, no power. Just another name in a graveyard full of nobodies. But you're not here to be forgotten. You're here to become the greatest your bloodline has ever seen. That means abandoning comfort, betraying mediocrity, and building a life so massive, so undeniable, that generations after you either worship your name or fear it. This isn't about being liked. It's about being remembered. Machiavelli didn't write for the weak. He wrote for those willing to outthink, outwork, and outlast their enemies, even if those enemies share your last name. Your family gave you a name, but you're going to give it meaning. So if you're ready to stop apologizing, if you're ready to become the most dangerous and respected version of yourself, if you're ready to rise above every ghost that came before you, then keep watching. Because this isn't just a video. It's a declaration of war on everything that held your bloodline back. Let's begin. Before you rise, you must understand what you're rising from.
Technology has created opportunities for disruptive startups like ours.
Your bloodline is a story, mostly written by fear, failure, survival, and compromise. Most of your ancestors didn't live. They endured. They didn't dominate. They obeyed. They didn't build legacies. They settled for existence. You were born into this, a script passed down through whispers, traditions, and unspoken rules. Be humble. Don't stand out. Fit in. Play it safe. Be grateful for what you have. That script ends with you. Because if you want to become the greatest your bloodline has ever seen, the first thing you must do is burn the blueprint they gave you. Machiavelli would have laughed at this obsession with humility and passive legacy. He knew what most men will never accept. Power is seized, not inherited. And greatness is not passed down. It's taken, earned, and forged in blood, betrayal, and relentless ambition. Step 1. Study your origin. Ruthlessly. Before a general conquers, he studies the terrain. Your terrain is your family's history, not to admire it, but to dissect it. Ask yourself, where did they give up too early? Where did they choose safety over greatness? Who in your bloodline lived with unrealized potential and died with regret? Don't romanticize your roots. Interrogate them. Find the weaknesses. Find the blind loyalty. Find the emotional chains that held them back. Then swear on your life. You won't carry that into your future. Step 2. Stop seeking permission. Most people unconsciously wait for approval from their parents, their community, even their dead ancestors. But no one ever became great by asking for a blessing. Machiavelli said, "A wise prince must learn to be not good, not obedient, not the nice guy everyone praises. He must learn to be effective, strategic, cold when necessary. You will not become the greatest by being agreeable. You will rise the moment you decide, I don't need their approval. I need results. If that means disappointing your family to honor your future, so be it. If that means being misunderstood or called arrogant, good. Let their insults become your armor. Let their silence become your fuel. Step 3. Build in silence. Emerge in force. Your legacy is not built in group chats or family functions. It's built in silence. While they sleep, you plan. While they talk, you move. While they waste years, you weaponize your days. You're not just working for money or comfort. You're building an empire so dominant that your surname echoes in future generations' mouths with awe. When you rise, don't explain it. Don't ask for congratulations. Make them wonder how you did it. Make them whisper your name with envy and disbelief. You are not a branch of the tree. You are the lightning that burns the old one down and plants something terrifying in its place. Step 4. Make your name. Worth remembering, your bloodline gave you a name. But that name is still empty. It's your job to fill it with weight. Attach greatness to it. Attach power to it. Attach fear and respect to it. Let future generations say, he changed everything. Let your story become the new blueprint they study. Let your life become the dividing line between those who lived small and the one who broke the curse. Part 1 ends here, but your transformation has just begun. What you're building isn't for applause. It's not for social media. It's for the moment when someone in your bloodline decades from now stands up and says, because of him, we are no longer ordinary. That's legacy.
Hello korang semua. Hi.
That's the path
Korang semua sihat ke?
respect.
I'm not give up.
Let's keep going.
You make beats? Yeah, I make beats. You want to hear my beats?
Before you become anything powerful, you must confront what's inside you. The silent slave that's been trained to obey, to wait,
Only
to
some
submit.
a bit. Sorry, bro.
Density is a tool to
Syami. Tap like dulu Syami. Syami bunga jentayu. Tap like sekali. Korang pun yang dalam ni semua tap like. Bagi like sampai 500,000. Hello. Okay guys, korang yang masuk dalam live ni, korang tap like. And korang yang dah masuk dalam live ni, korang jangan stay. Korang share kat kawan-kawan korang semua. Sebab apa guys? Sebab kali ni guys, dia besok guys. Ya, kembali lagi dalam oh. Bro, this bro got a beautiful setup, bro. For a kerja. Bersama lagi 44 Airel right now guys. Korang jangan gerak dulu guys. Cepat je. 3 minit lagi guys. Ramai lagi. Lagi masuk lagi. Awal 5 ini. Tak boleh. Masuk lagi guys. Korang semua join sampai 500,000 guys. Malam ni. Let's go. Cepat je. Let's go guys. Komen sikit guys. Komen. Tap like. Tap like guys. Tap like guys. Tap like. Cepat. Lagi 1 minit je guys. Okay.
全新 Ninja Man D-Max Strip 止汗器，采用 Max Tech 以及黑碳效力，提供72小时防护以及振奋的香气，让抉择变得简单，更从容应对挑战。以及振奋的香气，让抉择变得简单，更从容应对挑战。